Hey, and what is going on, everybody? It is Zero here, back with more Diablo action. Today we're going to talk about something a little different, something you're going to be seeing a little bit more of on the channel, just more of topic videos, discussion type videos. Today I want to talk about uh, build diversity and cookie cutter builds that are one of the biggest shortcomings of this game. As I'm sure many of you have come to realize by now, Blizzard has, I shouldn't say just Blizzard, like the development team of the game has just pushed us into kind of a corner with the way that we play the game. And this is something that is completely visible when you look at leaderboards. If you look at the number one through, let's see here. So number one guy here on Wizard, you know, he's using Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard, okay? You go down the list, Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard. Okay, this guy's actually a little different, but for the most part, it's Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard, right? Slight different weapon in the cube there, Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard. So let's go down to 100. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, Firebirds, shocking. Right, let's look up here. Firebirds, Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard, Man-Alt Heal, Man-Alt Heal. Go down the list a little bit more. 150 territory, Man-Alt Heal. Let's go down the list. Man-Alt Heal, shocking. Man-Alt Heal. Let's go all the way down to the bottom. Number 100. What do you got? Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard. Shocker. And that's just the way it is. If we were to take a look at another class, let's look at the Witch Doctor. Look at the number one. We've got Arakir's Fire Bats, right? Very popular build right now. Let's go down the list a bit. Man-Alt Heal, Lightning Wizard, or Man-Alt here. Arakir's, right? Arakir's, back at number 2. Arakir's, Fire Bats. It's all, let's go all the way to the bottom, and let's see. This is no, I thought it might be a Helltooth build at the bottom, but it's not. It's Arakir's Fire Bats. What is the problem with this? When you look at the leaderboard, and all you see primarily, like let's be generous and say that 90% of any given leaderboard is going to be all the same build. All the same build. The same gear, just with different roles, right? What is the problem with that? It's an ARPG. Okay. One of the standards for ARPGs is giving the player the freedom and the ability to tailor their characters to the way they want to play the game. That's always been one of the biggest things in the ARPG genre. And slowly but surely, I shouldn't even say slowly but surely, it's really kind of been this way from the start. Even in vanilla, you know, there was, every character had like certain builds that everybody played. You know, for Wizard in vanilla, it was Critical Mass Wizard or Archon Wizard. You didn't go any other way. That's all you played. And even though there are more viable builds in the game now, for each class there's really only one or two viable pushing builds and gear sets, which is a huge problem in the game. It takes all the variety out of it. Like, I don't like, keep in mind that I like these builds. They're fun to play. But how come I can't just hop in and create my own build easily? That's the thing that bothers me. And I think that's the thing that bothers a lot of players, is that you can't just put together a gear set around like a specific, like, let's take for an example, let's look at the skills here for Wizard. let's look at a good example here of something that really doesn't get used. Like, what if we just say Blizzard, okay? Let's say we say Blizzard, all right? And when I say Blizzard, let's say I want to use, you know, Unrelenting Storm. That's what I want to use. Because it's a super cool skill. You know, it is. It's super cool. Like, let's just look at it for a second. Let's look at this skill for 1 second. That's cool, man. It is a cool skill. And we do not get to use it. There's no reason to use it. There's nothing that can make it work as your main damage dealer. You know, there's no items that buff it in really any way, shape, or form. I mean, there's some cold items in the game, but they're not great. They're not like push the top 100 of the leaderboards great, right? I mean, you can use... We used to use Blizzard all the time, but we'd use the Fire Rune, right, for Firebirds when ROS first came out. That was like the shit. Excuse me. But that being said, that's what Blizzard wanted us to be playing. They wanted us to be playing with this rune, you know, for Firebirds. When Blizzard makes a set for a class, it's very fine-tuned. Like, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, okay? It's very fine-tuned to a certain play style, you know, and these play styles are great and fun for the most part. There's some that I think are a little but with their way of designing the mechanics and the gear sets and stuff, it really backs us into a corner into playing one specific way, right? One or two specific ways. Because let's face it, we get to a certain point with this game, and what else are you going to do other than want to try and push your character to its limits and go as far as you can in the Greater Rift, climb? So you end up being forced into playing these sets that Blizzard has decided, okay, you know what, what's going to be the big thing this season for Wizard or Witch Doctor? You know, like for this season and Witch Doctor, it's Arakirs, right? For 4 seasons before that, straight, it was Hell2, you know? But now it's Arakir, so everybody's playing Arakirs because Blizzard decided, let's make everybody play Arakirs and give it a buff. That's what happened. That's what it is, right? It's like this season with Crusader. Everybody's playing the Hammerden Crusader because Blizzard decided, let's make everybody play Seeker of the Light because nobody's using it. Let's give it a buff, and that'll be the new thing. When really, if we had more diversity in the type of items that drop, we could probably come up with a lot more varied and interesting builds that could push. And let's go over into the town here, and let's just take a look at a couple of items as an example, like a wizard item. Let's see here. What's a good one? What's a good one to talk? You know, like here's a good one. Here's an interesting item. The Lakuni Prowlers. These things, for a long time in Diablo, were the absolute must-have for every single class in the game. That was vanilla, of course, right? These were untouchable for the top spot for bracers, especially for wizards. ROS comes along. These fall to the bottom of the heap instantly. And even now, though they do have a place with certain builds, you know, they're really still not that great. And there's still a huge handful of items in the game that have no legendary affixes. And I'm not saying that every single item in the game should have a legendary affix, because there has to be some legendary items in the game that are more of a stepping stone, right, to putting together end game gear sets. But they either need to add more legendary affixes to items that don't have them, or fix legendary affixes on items that have terrible affixes. You know, as an example, Pig Sticker here. Even though the Pig Sticker is a phenomenal weapon for a lot of builds, look at the special affix on it. Squeal. I mean, it's a joke item, right? It's supposed to, that's supposed to be a joke. Okay, that's great, and it's funny, but couldn't it be Squeal and something else? Right? I mean, if you look on the secondary of the Pig Sticker, 23% damage to beasts, 18% damage to humans. There's no reason there couldn't be some other kind of special affix on there to have something to do with that, you know? Or, here's a crazy, out-of-this-world thought. Take the damage to beasts and humans, make it a special affix. Oh my goodness. Allow it to roll normal secondary stats and put the damage to beasts and humans on the special affix. All of a sudden, you've opened up this huge door for other builds to be able to take advantage of this without, sacrificing something more important on their main hand. You know, like that's something that could go in the cube for plenty of builds. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of starting to get off track here. The point of the matter is that we are so backed into a corner in terms of what we can and cannot do with the gameplay. And with that, I'm going to touch on another set. So most of the sets in the game are really fantastic, and they're meant to be that way, right? Because that's what I feel like they put a lot of their time and effort into, making the sets really play differently from one another, and be fun in their own unique ways. Mind you, we all know that some sets are way stronger than others, and that should not be the case. There should be a couple of sets or a set for each class that is above the others, but I don't feel like it's right that you might have one or two sets for a class that is so far and above the rest of the set for the class. You know, like look at the Demon Hunter, for instance, and the Shadow Mantle set, and how poorly that performs compared to the Unhallowed or the M6 set. You know, like that's like leaps and bounds difference there, which again keeps people from playing the Shadow Mantle build. You don't see people pushing, top 50, top 20 with Shadow Mantle set for the Demon Hunter. It doesn't happen because there's no way to push it up there, because they want you playing Unhallowed or M6. They don't want you playing Shadow Mantle. If they wanted you playing Shadow Mantle, it wouldn't be so bad, right? So let's take a look at another set, which I think is a really good example. Here's a few pieces of it right now. The Blackthorn set. The Blackthorn set, the bane of every Diablo player's existence when they're trying to put together a set piece, is the Blackthorn set. It drops like absolute crazy. I mean, you gotta assume that at least half of the set pieces you pick up are probably Blackthorns. Maybe not half, but I'm going to say 35%. Let's say about 35% of the set pieces anyway, pick up are Blackthorns. And it's bad, man. Like, it's got some interesting set bonuses. It's a pretty tanky thing. 2-piece, 250 vitality, which really isn't very much. Like, let's be honest. Increased damage against elites, 10%. That's ball. That's a great affix right there. 3-piece, reduced damage from elites, 10%. Fantastic. 25% extra gold from monsters? Are you fucking kidding me? Why is that? Why is gold on a set piece? Why is that in the set bonuses? Who the fuck needs more gold? Nobody's saying, man, I need more gold. I need to get me a 3-piece Blackthorns immediately. Nobody's saying that. 4-piece set. You're immune to Desecrator, Molten, and Plague monster ground effects. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. It's tanky. You gotta fix this set, man, because it is not good enough, to be honest. The 250 vitality, the 25% extra gold for monsters gotta go and be replaced. You gotta do something with this set. It's been in the game since the freaking beginning, and it is garbage. Nobody's using it. This should be the all-class set. There should be an all-class set in Diablo. I'm saying, for diversity's sake. You need to give us a set that can be combined with the other sets in the game for every class. That's what I'm saying. This could be the set that bridges the gap for some sets. This could be the set that takes one set and boosts it up into the spotlight. You know, you look at I don't know, what's a good set to think about here? Let's look at Zuni's, because it's a piece of shit, and it has been for a long time. Again, they don't want you playing Zuni's, they want you playing Helltooth or Arakirs for Witch Doctor. What if this set was better to the point where you could combine, 3 or 4 pieces of this with a couple of pieces of Zuni's to make one incredible build? But what if you could do that with all the classes with Blackthorns? If you could take it, combine it with other set pieces for that class, and make it better. Now this is obviously becoming a Blackthorns video for some reason, but really what I'm saying is that we need to, people need to get on the forums and on Twitter, and on Facebook and all over social media and be like, Blizzard, what the fuck? Stop forcing us to play 1 or 2 builds for 3 months at a time. Stop it. And it's 3 months at a time is being generous, because oftentimes you'll see with a class that one build rules for 2 or 3 seasons straight, and then another build gets pushed up to overtake it. This is their way of giving us fake variety. Oh, you played this exact build for 4 seasons straight. Let us boost this up to give you a little bit of variety in your gameplay. That's what they do. It's getting on my nerves, right? This is why for me anyway, I cannot play Crusader again next season. I already know that, because this season I've been doing the hammer thing, not getting good rolls, and I've slowly but surely started gearing towards LON Bomb again, which is what I played last season, right? Because even though hammers is cool, LON Bomb is still way stronger. Blizzard knows that. They've done nothing to address it or bring anything else with the Crusader up to that level. What I'm saying is basically that I don't think that it's right that you look at the leaderboard in Diablo and all you see is the same build over and 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 over again. It isn't right. We need more variety. We need things to be on an even line in Diablo. You shouldn't look at the leaderboard and just see the same thing over and over and over again. You don't see that in other ARPGs. Actually, I shouldn't say you don't see that. If you think about Path of Exile, for instance, there's Path of Exile, obviously has its top builds, but there's way more variety in them. The top builds in Path of Exile, you might see 5 people all in a row using the same concept for a building around one specific skill, but not each one is identical to each other. You can actually vary it up because of how expansive the skill tree is and how interesting the gear rolls. There's variety within that same build. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's true. There's way more variety in that game in terms of strong build selection. And I think that that's something we really need in this game, because we don't know when Diablo 4 is coming. We might hear an announcement next BlizzCon, but we don't know. We don't know. and just waiting to get our hands on the Necromancer isn't enough. Right? You can't say, oh, well, when the Necromancer comes out, there's going to be more variety in the builds. That's not true, because the Necromancer is going to be exactly the same. The Necromancer is going to have one, maybe two builds that far exceed the abilities of the other builds for that class, because that just seems to be the way that they build the game. And it sucks, because if you think back to Diablo 2, it wasn't like that, man. I mean, you could build the character around the worst skill for that character, and if you found the right pieces of strong gear or one legendary, you know, you could freaking play, man. You could push it. But it's not like that anymore. You just need to, you know, go online, top build Witch Doctor, top build Wizard, top build Monk. Okay, I need this, and this. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. It shouldn't be like that. That's all. That's what I'm getting at. We need more variety. This cookie cutter build situation is getting old, man. It's getting old. Let's fix this shit. Everybody get on Twitter, man. Say, Blizzard, I'm sick and tired of this cookie cutter build bull crap. Come on, man. Give us some variety. You know? Just point at the Witch Doctor, guys. The Witch Doctor and the Monk for all the proof you need. Zunimos's Shadow Mantle. How are they so goddamn shit? Alright? And, you know, actually, there's other stuff I could talk about with this. But more, I'm looking for your input on this. Please, in the comments, what do you think about the cookie cutter build situation? How do you think it can be fixed? Is it as big a problem in the game as I actually think it is, or is it just up in my head? Are you guys happy with the way of it? You know, are you happy looking at the leaderboard and seeing all the exact same build from top to bottom with, you know, maybe 10% being slightly different? Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Later.